thousands and thousands at least. Well, we're going to get an estimate for you a little bit later on, but I'm saying upwards of 10,000 right now.
It's a huge crowd. We're here right on Salina Street. The players are down a little ways up by Onondaga,
right.
And they're gonna travel right past us in a little while, right down to Salina, through Salina, and then they're going to end up in Clinton Square.
It's going to be very easy for them to go in a straight line because they've got an orange line to follow.
That's right. Mayor Matt Driscoll painted an orange line all the way down through the parade route. It matches everybody's hair. I've never seen so much orange hair in my life, Don. And we're going to send it now to Laura Hand, who's a little farther up in the parade route. She's at the beginning, the start of the parade, and we're going to check in with her now. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Lauren and Don. We are in the block south of where the parade is going to be starting, and let us set the stage for you just a little bit. First of all, even though this is not officially the parade route, take a look. There are people standing on the sidelines here too, waiting, hoping to get a glimpse of the coaches and the players and everyone who'll be in this parade. As you can see behind me, the fire truck that's going to be leading it off is here. It's decorated out in orange banners, of course. And on this side, where they're going to be lining up the cars for the parade, all you see right now is the marshals. These are the City of Syracuse employees as well as SU students who are recruited. There is one standing by to march with each of the cars. The cars, of course, carrying the players and the coaches and others. We are waiting for them to arrive right now. Obviously not here yet, but everyone's expectant, and we're looking forward to getting going. Back to you.
All right, and you know what? We should say that this event is beautifully planned. Along the streets here, they even have handicapped access for people in wheelchairs to come up right to the front of the crowd. As Laura mentioned, the cars are going to be traveling north, so everybody on that side of the street is going to have an opportunity to reach out and maybe slap five with some of the players. They're going by two players at a time in open cars, and they'll be going very slow, so they have a chance to greet and say hello to the fans along the way.
And the two fans that I would say everybody's most excited to see today, judging by the signs that are out here, Carmelo Anthony first and foremost, and Jerry McNamara, I'd say the unsung hero of this team, undoubtedly. So many signs held up for those two players especially.
That's right. And coming up, we want to tell you Joe Zone is here. We'll be talking to him in just a second as our special coverage continues.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. The parade's just about to get underway here. A lot of exciting fans waiting to see this team.
I'll tell you, you can feel the excitement, the electricity in the air. You really can, and you should get a sense of that from our pictures. We have team coverage here today. Laura Hand is with us and Joe Zone. Let's start with Joe Zone, and you might look very carefully at his face there and see what is that on your cheek, Joe?
Don, you talk about locations. You think you guys are good up there. I happen to be the fortunate roving street reporter right in front of the 12 largest speakers playing the loudest music in parade history. So if I can't hear anything you say, you know why. But take a look at the crowd across the street. McNamara, you are our hero. Carmelo Anthony, one more year. And by the way, guys, a friend of mine's supposed to meet me down here. If you see him, let me know. He'll be the guy wearing orange. Great big crowd. And we're just waiting to see things come this way. Look at the kids on this side over here. Everybody here, we're gonna play a game of SU Simon Says. Simon Says, if you're an SU fan, raise your hand. All right, if you're a Jim Bay, Simon Says, if you're a Jim Boeheim fan, raise both hands. What's your name?
Christina.
Christina's wearing orange. Did you just get this just for the parade, Christina?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Where are you from?
Syracuse.
And why did you come today?
I don't know. I just like Syracuse so much.
Were you at the event the other night when they celebrated with the team?
No.
So this is your first chance to see it? All right, this is part of the crowd here. Thanks for playing SU Simon Says. I've got kids, I've got adults, I've got signs. Look at this poster over here. Matt, look at this. You don't work for the Post Standard, do you? Look at this. It's beautiful. This is my location. We'll be back with you guys. All right, Don and Lauren, I'm gonna take the headphones off so I can hear the music. You got it.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Joe Zone working the crowd like no other today on this beautiful day.
What a great location. Now, coming up next, we'll head back to the parade and we'll talk with Laura Hand. She's right at the beginning where they're organizing now and getting ready to roll.
Yeah, we're going to toss to a commercial break here for a little bit so we can, when the parade does start and happen, we can stay with it and carry it for you live. Stay with us.
Well, as you can see, the parade is now moving into formation. The first couple of cars now lining up behind the Syracuse fire truck. And here you see Jim Boeheim, certainly dressed for the part. Hey, Julie, nice to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're so excited. Look at all these people who came out to celebrate with us.
You haven't seen anything yet. Wait till you see up the road here. Jim, congratulations.
She stole my hat. I can't get my hat back.
That hat is the best thing that we've seen since you've been back here.
We never leave home without it.
Congratulations. Enjoy the parade.
Thank you.
Well, there you see the coach lost his hat this time. His wife Julie wearing it. Lots of smiles here. The assistant coach is going right now. Bernie Fine and his wife Lori. Hi, Lori. Hi, Bernie. And the other coaches, the players still to come. We should tell you, Don and Lauren, that they had hoped to have bands in this parade, but because it's spring break, they weren't able to get the kids to come in because it's vacation. So you're getting pure SU, coaches and players here. And as you can see, they're going to come down the road in style. We're giving you a preview right now. We'll send it back to you to watch them as they come along. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Laura. We want to point out to people watching at home that Mayor Driscoll is in the lead car, and he's followed by Chancellor Kenneth Shaw.
Yep.
And then we see the Boeheims.
The
Jim and Julie
Boeheim, and I
Boeheim.
love that his wife stole that hat. Way to go. It's quite a fashion statement. It's probably the most famous hat in Syracuse right now, I would say.
You know, speaking of fashion statement, working the crowd here, people are selling souvenirs, all kinds of souvenirs. You can get an SU hat, you can get a sweatshirt, a T-shirt.
Face paint. Joe, sporting the face paint earlier, we saw.
Well, let me hold this one up here. Now, we had an interesting experience with a man and his daughter up from the Bronx in New York selling these shirts. Now, the father, who I would say is in his mid-40s, told me the price of this was $15. The daughter, who's 9 years old in the 4th grade, saw my resistance at the 15 level. She said $10 and it's yours. So
She cut him a deal, a good deal, $10. You can't beat it.
But the prevailing price for these seems to be about $15, $10 to $15.
All different colors, all different sizes. You can smell popcorn. It's making me hungry right now. You got popcorn, hot dogs, Coke, anything your heart desires, and it's all orange.
And what do you think of this crowd? I'll tell you, these people are so excited about their team. We heard it the other night at the pep rally when the fans, one after another, and the coach Jim Boeheim came up and they said, you know, these are the greatest fans in the world. You can certainly see it here. This turnout is absolutely amazing. After seeing 25,000 people in the Dome, Lauren, we may see 25,000 people here today.
We could. I mean, people lining the streets row after row. People, I'd say 6 rows thick on each sidewalk here. And the weather, Don, it's a great day. The sun is shining, the wind, you know, a light breeze, but it's just been a beautiful day. And I think it's really helped the parade, helped the crowd. And, you know, just what a great day for the city.
Absolutely. As they say, it's a great day for a parade. Joe Zone showed us some of the people in the crowd just a minute ago. Hey, Eddie, come on over. Here's Dome Eddie. Anybody who's been at a game at the Carrier Dome since it opened back in 1981. Hey, Eddie, come on over. You recognize this guy. This is Dome Eddie. Eddie, you were watching the other night. Now, you've been retired for a few years after working probably every game at the Dome for about 8 years straight. When did you know this was the year that you were watching the national champions and it was going to happen?
We beat Texas.
Yeah.
They said
That
we got
was
it.
key.
They said this is it. The team's playing together. They're doing it for the fans. They're doing it for the coach. They're just playing together. Had my lucky dice and I kept rubbing it. And Monday night it kept coming up to 3, and everybody said, Eddie, what numbers are coming up? I said 3. We're going to win it by 3. We're going to win it by 3.
Bless your heart, Eddie.
So,
bless your heart.
There we are.
All right. Thank you, Dome Eddie. Back in business. He called the game over Kansas. Thanks, Eddie. Enjoy the day.
Thank you, Eddie. We're going to go back now to Laura Hand, who's right where all the action is taking place. We're going to send it to Laura where more of the parade is getting started. Hi, Laura.
Okay, we want to show you again as they're staging down here, getting ready for the parade to start, although we should tell you that the coach's car is coming. You're looking at a Humvee with the National Championship. Well, there's the net, there's the trophy. What more can you say with the SU assistants there? Looks great, doesn't it? And they're followed by the cheerleaders, as you can see, and the players are coming. So they're coming your way, finally. The crowd down here is chanting as well, and there are lots of cheers. The cheerleaders here. Can we have a cheer? Can we have a cheer? Yeah, come on.
Let's go Orange! 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 Let's go Orange!
Don and Lauren, we're going to send it back to you. Otto the Orange is next in line, and then after that, the players, and we'll try to give you a play-by-play as they come by. Back to you.
All right, Laura, thank you very much. And if we might point out, you know, this extra role of Laura Hand as stage manager of the parade is coming in very handy, Laura. I would say keep it up. The cheerleaders, when they need some direction, give them that little nudge. When somebody needs to talk to the coach and his wife, that's kind of nice, too.
Doing a great job there, Laura. We're enjoying this as much as you are. We hope folks at home are enjoying this if you can't make it out today. Otto the Orange up next. I can't wait to see him. He's my favorite. And hopefully we'll get to meet Otto right after this next break. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody.
Yes, we're back live with our Action News coverage of this Parade of Champions. And looking around, you've got to get a sense that this is probably the most motivated parade crowd you will ever see. They love their Syracuse University Orangemen, and you heard the Orangemen the other night. They love their fans.
They do, and we have our own Joe Zone here working the crowd. We're going to send it to Joe now to see what's going on with some of the crowd members, and he's also got a special treat for us, a really nice wrap-up of some highlights from this fantastic history-making season. Hey, Joe.
You know, I got to tell you, other than the fact that the crowd's orange and it's April, this is like the St. Patrick's Day parade. And for those of us who cover the team, you know, we weren't here, so this is like St. Patrick's Day all over again. Now, talk about covering this team. We were fortunate to be there from day one. We didn't have a clue, believe me. Take a look at some of the highlights of how they started and how they finished. Basketball team with a bunch of freshmen and sophomores is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That's why when the season began with a loss to Memphis, we didn't know what to expect. We did know right off that Carmelo Anthony was everything the scouts and coaches said he would be. He led SU with his first 20-plus point game of the year. After the Memphis loss, SU settled in with the usual victims. They ran off 11 straight wins against Cornell, Colgate, and Binghamton. But during that winning streak, they also beat Georgia Tech and Missouri. But the people who ranked college basketball teams weren't very impressed. SU didn't even crack the top 20 until January. Their 11-game winning streak ended in Pittsburgh against a Panther team that was already ranked in the top 5. It was Billy Edelin's first game of the season after a 12-game suspension. And then 3 games later, SU lost at Rutgers, their second loss in 4 games. But SU made up for that loss 2 weeks later, just as Pittsburgh was poised to become the #1 team in the nation. In one of the most incredible games ever played at the Dome, SU hit a shot in the closing seconds to take the lead and then survived Pittsburgh's last try at the buzzer.
It's got to leave his hands. And it did not. No. Shot won't count.
After a nice home win against Georgetown, SU went to Connecticut, where the Huskies were playing for Coach Jim Calhoun, who was recovering from prostate surgery. SU lost 75-61, their worst loss of the year.
But then, another incredible game at the Dome. Jerry McNamara shot at the end beat Notre Dame, and SU was starting to feel good about itself again. The Orange ran off 7 straight wins to end the season, including a game at Michigan State, who went to the Sweet 16, and at Notre Dame, another Sweet 16 team. Those wins, Jim Boeheim said later, were the ones that showed him this team could make a run. The pollsters took notice too. SU was finally closing in on the top 10. The Big East tournament almost seemed like an afterthought. SU won, they beat Georgetown, but then lost to that Connecticut team again, another Big East team that would go to the Sweet 16. So when the NCAA tournament began, Syracuse was ranked number 11 in the country. People who had seen Carmelo Anthony play all season knew there could be some great times ahead, and there were. Playing as the number 3 seed in the East, they started in nearby Boston, where they beat Manhattan and Oklahoma State. Then the tournament got real comfy. Sweet 16 games in Albany. A loud hometown crowd cheered the Orange to wins over Auburn and Oklahoma. Could this be the dream that every coach and player talks about? To New Orleans for the Final Four, a Saturday night game against number 1 seeded Texas. SU trailed late in the second half, but came back to win 95-84. SU's best offensive showing of the year. So it was. Monday night, the freshmen and sophomores against Kansas's seniors. Syracuse got out to an 18-point lead and then held on.
Heinrich starts inside, goes outside. Heinrich gets it. Heinrich puts up the shot. It's too long, and Syracuse is your national champion.
You know, this wasn't supposed to happen. Now, they weren't supposed to be doing autographs, but as you can see, they are. The last car in the parade right here, Carmelo Anthony. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Is this harder than doing the game?
Nah, man. This is something that we like doing as far as the basketball game.
Are you rested up yet?
Nah, not yet. Probably a couple more days.
And how's the back feeling?
It's feeling like I'm getting treatment now, so it's all right.
Okay. Has this been a team event after you got back? Because so many people have been talking so much about you. You're on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Do you still feel like it's the Orange team, or is it you and everyone else?
It's the team. We did this together. Everybody contributed to the win.
Well, congratulations. There's a huge crowd coming up. Also, Tyrone Albright, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And enjoy the parade.
All right.
Take care. As you can see, we're really surrounded by autograph seekers, too. Lots of people brought their cameras, lots of people getting the autographs, enjoying it. We'll send it back up to you to see the parade. Don and Lauren?
All right, Laura, thanks so much. That was the man everybody's looking to see today, Mello, as they call him.
And you know what was really nice? He's in the car with Tyrone Albright. Tyrone Albright is the one other senior on the team, although he hasn't played that much. And he's the player with the little boy, the little 3-year-old boy.
Yep.
And Tyrone Albright's wife is the one who does the cornrows in Carmelo's hair before every game.
That's right.
So they're really great friends. And I think you could see that all year long. All these players on the team, they are really tight. I mean, this is a cohesive team, a charismatic team. They're like brothers. And it really paid off all season long, no question about it.
And it's interesting to see, especially Carmelo, how he's handling all of this attention. I'm sure, the first wave of what's going to be a long career for him, of lots of TV interviews and Sports Illustrated covers, and he's just handling it so well.
And what's amazing about that, you have to keep reminding yourself, Carmelo Anthony is only 18 years old.
A freshman.
If he were to stay all 4 years, and he was teasing us about that the other night, he graduates 3 years from now, he's only 21.
Right. And I remember Jim Boeheim saying, at a press conference right after, that what a team and how young they are, and that nobody thought they could do it, not even ranked at the beginning of the season.
Right.
And they pull it off. And Jim Boeheim was saying he doesn't think there'll ever be another team again that can pull it off this young.
Boeheim knew he had something special, and he was telling people before the season, we'll be a lot better than most people think we will. But I don't even know if the coach dares say the words before the season started that we could win it all.
Right. Well, the cheers now, the parade just about to reach us, everybody, and we're hearing that we can see. It's tough for us to see because there's so many people here, but County Executive Nick Pirro is making his way down Salina Street here. The parade going to travel right down Salina into Clinton Square. So lots of cheering going on there for County Executive Nick Pirro. Starting out the parade, a beautiful, shiny, clean fire truck coming down, all the lights flashing. Mayor Matt Driscoll also riding along there beside County Executive Nick Pirro.
Now, to gauge the length of this parade, we're about halfway along the parade route. We're just down from the Landmark Theater, about halfway between here and Clinton Square. In the car behind Mayor Driscoll and County Executive Pirro, we'll see SU Chancellor Kenneth Shaw, who really has a very funny joke that he tells whenever he gets together with SU fans. He says, "I'll clear up any controversy. I just want you to know I will be back for one more year." And there's your favorite hat. We just got a glimpse of it, Lauren. That great big orange velour cowboy hat with a white trim.
And Jim Boeheim saying he bought that in the Big Easy in New Orleans on the famous Bourbon Street, right in the wee hours of the morning there after they won. And now we're going to send it now, Don, back to Laura Hand, where fans are going wild for none other than the Carmelo Anthony Mello.
As you can see right now, it is a mob scene here. The parade officially hasn't even started for Tyrone Albright and Carmelo Anthony, and the fans are just mobbing his car. They're bringing in extra police right now to bring the people back a little bit. You know, they started by giving autographs, and people realized that, and the fans have just rushed down here. Tyrone and Carmelo, we can barely see them, but they're both trying to be nice to the crowd. As you can see, the white helmeted police officers now forming a cordon around this car, but fans are still passing on signs, basketballs, hats, t-shirts, everything they can down here to get autographed. They are bringing in extra security, so I think by the time they get on the parade route proper, everything will be okay. But right now, the fans are in control, no question. We have a kilting band behind us. They can't even get through. As you can see, the fans are getting their up close and personal look at the star of the show. Don and Lauren, back to you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Laura. Just going past our location now, Coach Jim Boeheim.
Yep, who has taken the hat back from his wife. He's got it on. His children are there. They have orange pom-poms waving. Everyone going wild for Coach Boeheim, and so nice to see his win after such a long career at Syracuse.
Now, this is assistant coach Bernie Fine, who's been at Boeheim's side for 26 years. Bernie is the coach who works with the big men. He did an amazing job with Eton Thomas, as you saw him develop as a player over 4 years. He's been working now with Craig Forth and with Jeremy McNeil.
Here we're looking now at a shot of the trophy. They're telling us, Don, there it is, the trophy that this city, that this team and coach have waited so long for. The trophy going by.
That's what they went to New Orleans to get, and that's the big piece of hardware that they brought home. National champions, and the city of Syracuse is turning out now to give them a salute.
27 years as head coach, 653 victories, and now the national championship.
It's quite a day, quite the weather. Look at the crowd there, 5, 6, 7 rows deep. The convertibles, everybody's sitting on top of the convertibles. You know, you only just need a light jacket out here today. The fans are really loving this. You know, what a boost for the city.
And you know what? It's really well planned, too, really well organized. You see that the convertibles are going by at a real nice, slow rate of speed, 2 people to a car, giving everybody a chance to take their props,
Look
as
at
we
this
say.
little guy here, this little fella, really getting into it there. He's got his flag waving and his horns. And there's is that the Humvee there? And we're looking at the Humvee going by. The Syracuse cheerleaders walking by us right now. There they are, the cheerleaders.
And we think right behind the cheerleaders, we'll start to see the cars with the players. In the lead car behind the cheerleaders, we're looking for the 7-foot center, Craig Forth, and he'll be in the car with Billy Edlin. Of course, Billy Edlin, who missed the first 12 games this season. Craig Forth had his biggest game of the season, maybe, in the championship game against Kansas. He got 6 big points, including the first 2 points of the game.
He did. He pitched in those 6 points and 3 rebounds against Kansas before fouling out. Boeheim saying about Craig Forth that night that his huge defensive plays were really what helped the team secure that win. He's a 7-footer from East Greenbush. And we're going to look now at Otto. That mascot, Don, he is everywhere.
Yep.
He's always in Sports Illustrated. He's one of the, I would say, the most highly visible mascots of any basketball team, and what press he's getting this year.
In fact, he's probably surpassed Dome Eddie this year for national recognition. We talked to Dome Eddie a few minutes ago. We're looking at Craig Forth and Billy Edlin now. Again, Craig Forth, the big 7-footer, he'll be back next year. Billy Edlin, his rookie season, he missed a little bit of it, but he'll be back next year. Really, the nucleus of the team coming back, except for Quethwini, the one graduating starting senior, and he's not here today.
He's not here today. He's not here today, Don, because he's trying out for the NBA. Of course, a lot of talk still surrounding Carmelo Anthony. Will he go or will he stay? And there is Melo now. A lot of people holding up signs. One more year, Carmelo, stick with us one more year.
Carmelo Anthony, the all-star freshman sensation from Baltimore, Maryland. He was named most outstanding player in the East Regional and the Final Four. He scored a career-high 33 points against Texas to get SU to the title game.
That's right. We're from the same hometown, Carmelo and I.
That's right, the Baltimore, Maryland area.
And, my parents said that he is really a sensation in Baltimore. Not a whole lot of Cuse fans down there, but he really is such a sensation, much like Jerry McNamara is in the town of Scranton. We saw all the buses. His whole town at one of the games came up on the buses. And, same for Carmelo down there in Baltimore. Sporting the famous basketball hats there, the championship hats. They were so excited to get those. When they were cutting down that net, they just couldn't wait to get that hat on. That national championship.
Now here are the bagpipes, the skinny band. Really the only live music that we have, and it was a coincidence that they were available for the parade today. So they were kind of drafted to provide some background music. They're doing a great job of getting a big reception.
That's right, the band on spring break. They're partying there down on spring break. So we got the bagpipes. Nice to have a little music to help us along.
Now, look at the orange truck that's coming up. That's certainly in keeping with the festivities today. We talked to a fella earlier today in a mint 1978 orange MG, and he was wearing his SU colors and his sweatshirt and trying desperately to get involved in this parade. So keep your eyes peeled for that 1978 orange MG and see if they made it or not.
A lot of good-looking cars driving by here today, Don. Sure, a lot of the Irish fans and the Scottish fans here enjoying these bagpipes. We've just heard, Don, an astounding crowd here, 30,000 turning out today.
And honestly, we have no trouble believing that at all, because and the fans are starting to pour into the streets, as you can see as well. But you know what? That's fine, because it seems to be working. It's very orderly. You can tell this was pretty well thought out, and we have an advantage there because the chief of police in the city of Syracuse is a former basketball player.
Don, it's interesting. A lot of the fans here are really kind of like starting to spill out into the street. And the parade is starting to end. Right now, the players are just making their way down to Clinton Square, where they're still going wild for Carmelo Anthony.
And believe it or not, we're getting close to Clinton Square. We'll bring you all of that live as we continue with our coverage in just a moment.
Our special coverage of this parade of champions, the SU basketball champions. Don Lark and myself are standing here on Salina Street, but the real action right now is in Clinton Square. Fans going wild for Coach Jim Boeheim.
And you know what? If you get the impression that there are a lot of people here, try counting up to 30,000. Joe Zone is along the parade route right now and standing by. Joe?
I don't know, Don. I did not see Billy Edlin come by. There are a couple of players I didn't see. I know that Queth Dwayne was not here today because he's still at that NBA tryout camp. But there's no question that as Carmelo Anthony came by, he was surrounded by thousands and thousands of fans actually walking behind him. Very interesting how they changed the strategy of this parade. Carmelo was supposed to be up in one of the front cars, but I think they realized how this was going to play out, that everybody wanted to swarm around his car, and so that's exactly what happened. When Carmelo came by in the last car, everybody along the parade route, up the street behind him, followed the last car with Carmelo in it, all the way down to Clinton Square, and that's where they are right now, down at Clinton Square, and Carmelo is there. And as people were going by me, I didn't get to see all the cars, but I did not see Billy Edel in any of the cars. He may have come by earlier, but I seem to have missed him. Did you see him?
Yeah, he was in the car with Craig Forth. He was right up near the front of the parade, so you might have missed him. The big 7-footer blocking your view, Joe, from where you were.
Oh, you know what it was? It was the Corvette. They were in the Corvette. I was looking at that Corvette.
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
And you know, if it wasn't for the daylight, you would swear that this was Marshall Street all over again. It looks exactly like the scene there, you know, right after the two big wins, the semifinal and then the final game.
Well, what was amazing about this, the picture that you see now, and the camera's beginning to give you a sense of it, it was like this all the way along the parade route, and spontaneously, unplanned and unrehearsed, the crowd just kind of walked out from behind the barricades and joined the parade, as if to say, why not? We're having fun.
Right,
It's
they
a great
said, hey,
day.
this is our team, our city. They wanted to be a part of it all.
And I tell you what, you can tell this crowd is psyched. They would like to do this every year, and you can hear the fans talking along the streets. They're saying, you know what, even if Carmelo Anthony does not come back next year, we really like our chances.
We do. I mean, Jerry McNamara, I think, was just, I mean, he's amazing. The kid, I think, is unbelievable, and they just have such a great team.
There it is, the trophy being hoisted high. Isn't that amazing? You know, Joe Zone was telling us before he went down to New Orleans, he talked to a couple of people who knew a couple of people, and I guess the odds out of Las Vegas, you could have gotten a bet down at odds of 50-1 against Syracuse 2 weeks before the tournament. I mean, they started the season unranked. They were off everybody's radar screen. They weren't ranked at all. They didn't crack the top 25 until January. And then from then on, it was just amazing to watch them go all the way.
There's Otto the Orange just going by there. You know, Joe, there's a great song, a great country song called How Do You Like Me Now? And I bet a lot of the SU fans and players and the whole city is singing that song now. How do you like us now?
Well, as you look down there at Clinton Square, one of the things that we saw on Thursday night, not only did they get the National Championship trophy from the NCAA, but in the final college basketball poll, the USA Today ESPN poll, they also received a beautiful trophy for that, and they received that on Thursday night. Also, there is this huge championship banner which will be on display.
Yes, where's the microphone? Oh.
So right now, the fans are
Aaron,
all
I'm ready
moving
when
down
you
toward
are.
Clinton Square, and it's pretty well packed that way. I think that's where everybody's going. The crowd at Clinton Square reminds me a little bit of how it was at the New Orleans Superdome on Monday night when SU won this thing, and the SU fans stayed and crowd and cheered, and some of them got close to the floor. And I've never been anything part of that. And then you have the celebration on Thursday night, and now this today. I mean, this thing just keeps going and going. And I think you may have heard already that on Monday, Jim Boeheim and the team will be down at the New York Stock Exchange, and then Jim Boeheim will be on the David Letterman show on Monday night. So this thing just keeps on going, guys.
All right, Joe, and we can see the way the crowd embraces Carmelo Anthony right now in Clinton Square. 18 years old, a national champion now. He's a rock star in the city of Syracuse. Maybe that's one more reason why he's got to go pro, because a lot of endorsements in store for this young man, along with a brilliant future ahead in the NBA.
All right, well, we're going to talk to some fans here in a second and see how they've enjoyed this parade. But right now, we're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with the fans. Stay with us.
All right, the prevailing colors here on South Salina Street, still very much orange and blue, wouldn't you say?
So, what'd you guys think of the parade, huh? Why'd you feel it was so important to come out today and root these guys on?
A team of destiny uniting the Syracuse community after we had the power outage. Electricity is brewing, and we are the color orange, baby.
All right.
Very well said, very well said. Now, you've got a great poster to show us. I don't know if we can get a shot of this one here. Guys, tell me your name.
Carrie?
Hi, Carrie. Let's get a picture of that champs. How long do you think you'll remember this one?
Forever.
Forever. Who are your favorite players?
I like Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony. He seems to be quite a crowd pleaser here today. How are you guys doing?
Oh, great.
What do you think about all this excitement?
It's awesome. It was a great time, great season, great tournament.
How long have you been waiting for this to happen?
Well, about 35 years.
Too long, right? Too long.
Let me go over here, Lauren. Talk to some. How did you enjoy the parade?
I loved it. It was great.
Who's your favorite player?
Probably Anthony.
Did you?
I shook his hand.
Did you see him go by?
Yes, I did.
Did he shake your hand?
No, he didn't.
How about you? Who's your favorite player?
Definitely Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, and back here, what do you think? Who's your favorite player?
Carmelo Anthony.
What did you think of the parade?
It was fun. It was very fun to come down here with my daughters, and they both had a good time.
Where are you from?
From Camillus.
Now, would you be surprised to hear there were 30,000 people down here today?
Yes, I would.
You would?
Yes, I would.
All right.
I thought you'd be more.
I feel like I shook hands and waved to every one of them, Lauren. What do you think?
Now, Don, I don't know if you can see this little boy over here, but he has got orange and blue hair. I'm telling you, it doesn't get any better than this little fella over here. Buddy, if we
What's
could get a
your name?
shot of him, this is pretty great.
Where are you from?
I don't know.
Oh, that's okay. Do you mind if I compliment you on your hair? I love your haircut. What do you think of that?
What?
You're a big Syracuse University basketball fan?
Yes.
And you like the parade?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very
Love
much.
the hair,
man.
love it.
Isn't that great?
All right, we're going to send it down to Joe Zone, who's standing by with some more fans. Joe, what are they?
Well, I was a little bit confused with the face paint color because I noticed some people have the blue on the left side and some have the blue on the right side. So I'm not really sure what the proper face paintage would be, but whatever it is, I don't think there's anything wrong today. I got to tell you, as I'm watching the celebration, it's nice to see that Jim Boeheim is finally enjoying himself, that he's finally comfortable with this. I got to tell you, throughout the whole tournament, he was on edge all the time. He's always got the game face on. Every time he won a game, it was almost like he had to apologize that the other team had lost and not that he had won. And even after the championship game on Monday night, as I watched his dynamics and his body language after the press conference, he was still a little bit hunched over. He was still, he really never got up to the point where he wanted to celebrate and raise his fist up. And I'm glad he finally got to that hat, which really shows that he let go. He's enjoying it. I think now he's finally comfortable with the win. I mean, the one thing he said was that, he's not a better coach now than he was 2 hours before the game started, and he doesn't need the validation, but I know he's feeling pretty good right now that he's got that national championship.
All right, Joe, and we don't certainly know the game as well as you do, but you saw that coaching all season long. I mean, a lot of critics will say, well, Boeheim had the players, how could he not win? But I'll tell you what, any team that could win that many games after being that far behind, just the casual fan at home could see the adjustments, the coaching that was being done at halftime as they came out and they pulled out every one of those games.
Yeah, Cinderella story, no doubt, and we'll never forget that orange hat.
No question about it.
We're going to come back and wrap things up here at the Parade of Champions, but right now, a quick commercial break. Stick with us.
Well, we're back on South Salina Street live on NBC3, and what a magic event this was. Joe Zone, Lauren Lapenzina, absolutely fantastic.
I've never seen anything like this. I was fortunate enough to do the Chicago Bulls three-peat in Chicago with that great big gathering. When the Giants won the Super Bowl in New York, the Mets won parades. But there was something about this one, especially on Thursday night. I've never seen quite so much, I don't know if the word is love or adoration or what it is, appreciation, but so much outpouring of affection to one sports team. This was by far the most I've ever experienced, that I've ever seen.
And you can see it now, Lauren, even in Clinton Square. The event is over. It's been over for about 10 or 15 minutes because the players have been whisked away to City Hall.
And still, though, lots of people out just celebrating orange fever. I mean, there's no other way to say it, orange fever. And we had a gentleman just a little while ago saying, the long winter we've had and all the power outages and just, not a very, nice winter this winter. Last year we lucked out, but, it was just what we needed. We really needed this.
The other thing too, Don, is that the fans really never get to see the players like this. You see, when you go to the games, you're up in the stands, and there's an artificial wall there that you never get down to. So this is an opportunity for them to kind of get up, maybe look up at them and see them close and see them smile at them, make a little bit of eye contact, maybe you get an autograph, whatever. So it's a whole different environment, and I think that's why the fans today are really involved in it.
And there was no script for anybody to follow, Joe. It was just kind of a spontaneous thing where the fans spilled into the street, and as we said at the time, that was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of the ladies couldn't wait to get their glimpse of Carmelo up close.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If love and feel good had anything to do with Carmelo's decision, we know where he'd be next year, right back here, because he'll never get this in the NBA. He'll get lots of money and buy lots of things, but he's never going to get this kind of feel. I mean, when he walked through that crowd at the Dome the other night, through the smoke, he by far got most of the attention, but each player coming through, I mean, it was just one big standing ovation after another.
And you know what's nice about these fans is that they can share the love they have for this team because they love Hakeem, they love McNamara, they love even the Craig Nasties. Craig Forth told us about his own little fan club on the SU campus. They call them the Craig Nasties. Each player can identify with the fans and vice versa. The fans love them all.
So, Joe, what's your take on that comment that Carmelo made last night? I think you could read it either way when he said, I thought everybody wants me to stay one more year, but college is for 4 years. What do you make of that?
I think he's just playing off the emotion of the evening. I thought that if they fell short this year, he might come back and try to make a run. But my gut feeling now would be that the way he has shown himself throughout the tournament, always happy, always smiling, tremendous attitude. One of the things today in professional sports, when these guys are looking for players, they're looking for guys with good attitudes who they don't think are bad guys who are going to get the team and the franchise in trouble. Everything about Carmelo Anthony says this is a good guy. He's a good kid. He's going to do nothing but make people feel happy. And so I think that's why he's got to go.
No question about it. We're watching the big rally on Marshall Street Monday night. And you know what? It was a little bit exuberant, and we saw a lot of energy. But really, at the end of the day, they broke some tree branches. A few people were escorted to talk to police.
11 arrests, I believe. But, for a crowd of that, that magnitude, not too bad.
I'll tell you, this has just been a magic year. And the big thrill for me, before the season started, we had breakfast with Jim Boeheim through the Syracuse Press Club, and it's about 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, and Boeheim typically started off the breakfast by insulting us, and he said, you know what, I expected more of you guys to be here. He said, I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning watching game film, but it's just been a magic year, almost unbelievable finish right here today.
You know what I'll remember, though, is the smile, Carmelo's smile. I think, any picture, you always saw him smiling, and a lot of smiles here today.
And all we can do is think about, we have to say it, but next year, and it can be a pretty good group next year, I guarantee you.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us, for all of us here at NBC3 with our live coverage of the Parade of Champions in downtown Syracuse.
Thanks for joining us. Bye, everybody.
I didn't want to get another one of those key smart shots. I just saw them, and it was kind of like slow motion, and he just released it, and I was just able to get to it.
Thanks for watching A Parade of Champions here on NBC3.